Vern Kyle here. The topic of today's video is trails. Haley is marking the offset line, the outside perimeter of the base. The asphalt on this trail is 3 meters wide, but we have to overbuild the width of the base to hold the outside edge of asphalt properly. We usually overbuild each side by 300 millimeters. So the total width of this trail will be 3.6 meters. The structure on the trail is stabilized clay, which I'm walking on, then 300 millimeters of 63 mil, that's the recycled concrete, and 75 mils of asphalt. The grade crew is checking the center line of the trail, and by using my slope meter, I am taking care of the 3% slope toward the outside edge. In this scene, that is my left-hand side. From a grader operator's point of view, one of the biggest issues that I have found when working on these trails is trying to keep the width proper. In this case, 3.6 meters. These trails have an annoying tendency to get too wide. You see, my grader blade is almost 5 meters wide, and I am trying to stay at 3.6 meters. In the upcoming clip, I am going to talk more about this. In this clip, I am working on a lane instead of a trail, but the same principle applies. It's a situation where the grader blade is wider than the work area. There is extra material in this case, it's 20 mil, and I need to push it ahead. I will continue to angle my blade one way, push the gravel ahead, then angle the blade the other way, and do the same. With several passes, you can accomplish this task. You see, if I turned my blade completely straight, I would end up pushing the gravel off the edge, and it would get very messy. There is an alternative method you can use. If there is a skid steer or buggy on site, by using the center shift on the grader, go all the way to one side, then tuck the blade so far that the windrow ends up being in between the back wheels. Then ask the skid or the buggy to take it ahead. Sadly, I can't find any footage of this method, so that's for a future video. Okay, we are back on the trail again. And this one is over a ½ kilometer long. The grades on these trails don't need to be quite as precise as on the street. When the engineers designed this subdivision, they come up with these grades by considering the elevation of the back of lots and the lay of the land. So if a station or two is out by a couple of centimeters, it's not the end of the world. Sometimes they design hills and valleys in these trails to make them look more authentic. If you are tying into another structure, you will need to be bang on grade. And the paving crew will appreciate a constant 3% all the way.
Video. Well, we're getting the best side of Rob now.
Yep.
This is the guy that just cracked that joke, Brian. And if you see the water truck driving on this site, he'll be the guy driving it.
Smile. That's it. I want to get... It wouldn't reach us anyways. It flipped over, I don't think. It would just catch the truck.
Brian and Haley are reminding each other to stay out of the dump zone. That is, if the truck ever flipped over while dumping, they would be clear of danger. Now, we are adding 300 millimeters of 63 mil recycled concrete. By using the Teresa method, she will have calculated how far each truck dump should go. The grading crew will have drawn a paint mark on the ground to signify that length. The water truck driver is choking on the dust. This is Andre, and he is operating his own skid steer. This is the same trail as the previous clip, and a truck has just dumped. He is placing 63 mil, and he is going for 300 millimeter lift. This clip gives us a good look at this recycled material. If you take a close look at the 63, you can clearly see 63 millimeter chunks of concrete, bricks, cinder blocks, tiles, and sometimes asphalt. Today the 63 is coming in very dry, probably only about 1% moisture. Because this material can vary a little from day to day, depending on what the crusher is using for base stock, so can the optimum amount of moisture. I am going to say the optimum can vary from 4% to 6% moisture. The next step here will be to water it, pack it with the pad foot, and then using the grader, I will tweak the grade and the 3%. Although, as you can see, Andre is more than capable of finishing his own projects. Bye-bye, Andre. In this clip, we are working on a trail, but it is in a different location. Like the previous site, the material that we are working with is 63 mil. The 75 millimeters of asphalt that is capping this trail is only 2.5 meters wide. Therefore, the base should be about 3.1 meters wide. Because this trail is so narrow and the obstacles to avoid are so numerous, it was decided to bring the 63 mil to a nearby stockpile, then reload it into tandem gravel trucks to dump on the trail. James is operating the skid steer on this site, and he placed this 63 while working with the tandem trucks. I'm here with the grader doing the final step. I am just tweaking the grade and trying to hold on 2%. Oh yes, the crossfall on this trail is 2% toward the curb. About 5 years ago, I started using this method of backblading these trails with my blade turned forward. but just for the final pass. I usually go once up and once back in the opposite direction. Now, James, if you think that you can improve anything around that crazy para ramp there, you know, feel free to try to change it, but it's not too bad because the percentage increases toward it a little bit, so that's good. That's kind of what we were looking for.
Yeah, it's gotta be fairly close.
If you think you can fix something there, go for it.
I think the only thing I might touch is right here. Other side of the tree.
This method is less dangerous than backblading in reverse. It also helps with the segregation issue. Using this method is less aggressive than using the blade forward. When I need to adjust the percentage, I have to bear down a little bit with the grater to accomplish it. Whereas with the forward blade, you can change the percentage without even knowing it. Don't forget, when I am using my forward blade, I could take a cut of 10 centimeters off this trail in one pass if I wanted to. Here we are going along a bus pad, and it needs to be 75 mils along that bus pad to accommodate for the asphalt. Jesse, I'm out of here.
What was that, man?
Jesse can go ahead and drum this if he wants. Well, Teresa, it looks nice in front of that bus pad there now, and when I cruise through there, it is a nice 2%. I hope you found this video interesting or helpful, and would you please like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.